Hey everyone, welcome back. So today we are taking the truck along with Nicole's Mazda to Pennsylvania to move into our new apartment. First things first, secure the coffee in these awesome cups. We have a truckload full of good stuff from my apartment, my old one, and Nicole's old one. So you can see we got a box of her stuff. That's her pink, not mine. Loaded in back here with stuff. Standing desk, some laundry baskets, a lamp, a computer screen, all the good stuff. And then totally full back here. Boxes, desk chair, a crate for the dog. Using that truck for truck things. Hello? Look at her go. So anyways, today we're going to talk about what's it like to drive a truck on a road trip, packed full, about 2 hours, and just get my impressions. Highway driving, comfort, and fuel economy. So what we're going to do after we put our navigation is we're going to reset the trip computer and get an accurate fuel economy. This car has a 36-gallon tank of fuel. I've already used about a little bit of it getting from here to the shore, but now we're gonna set off. So we have a 2-hour drive, 124 miles into Pennsylvania. Lots of highway driving, but I'm sure we'll hit some traffic. My overall first impression with this car is the comfort level is good when it comes to the interior. So what I mean by that is you have nice materials, touch points, nice, whatever this like matte texture is over here, some wood grain, all the good stuff. You got heated ventilated seats, physical climate controls, and a nice big infotainment screen with Apple CarPlay. There's no like anti-fatigue function, no massage function, etc., that you would find in some other Ford's products like the Ford Explorer. Obviously, with any truck, you get an excellent amount of road visibility, or road presence. I want to say road visibility because there definitely are some blind spots. It's a big car. You got to really move and check your blind spots. And there's also that added weight and dimension to this truck. It's an extended wheelbase, 167 inches. So you definitely have a presence on the road and in a garage. But once you get used to that, it's no big deal. My first impressions on the drive up, a couple things I noticed. This screen is huge. I'm too short to like really reach some of the areas, but it definitely is nice and clear and present, no complaints there. Another thing I noticed is I'm not really used to driving in these big cars and stuff, and I think I get a little car sick. I noticed on the way up here from the shore, the rolling, the body roll, the dampening of the suspension, I felt like, and the fact I'm sitting like on top of the frame of the car, I think just contributed to a little bit of road sickness. So let me reset the fuel economy, if I can remember where to find it. So this won't be a super accurate test, but that's what we're doing. Trip 1. Let's see which of these we could use. So it looks like trip 1 was getting about 20 mpg average, and trip 2. So let's take trip 2. Bam. All right. And we'll check them with that as we get along the trip. But overall, it's a good place to be for a longer trip. Plenty of space for the family and stuff in that truck bed. Pretty good fuel economy. Takes regular fuel, I believe, and has plenty of infotainment qualities that you need. And we'll get on the highway. We'll talk about the active driver assistance, which is also very solid. as well as just the power on the highway and just the comfort and wind noise up at those highway speeds. So we'll check back in with you then. So here we are in typical New Jersey fashion, stuck in traffic, trying to get out of here because people are trying to get into the city, and we're right by the Lincoln Tunnel entrance over there. So that gives me a good opportunity to talk about the comfort in this car in stop and go. The biggest thing that I personally had trouble with is getting used to the fact that I'm a larger car, need a little bit more stopping distance. I don't have sport brakes like I would in my other car, so they're not as grabby and get that initial firm bite. You really gotta jam on it and stuff. And also just the added weight, you need more stopping distance as you would to be stopping safely, to anticipate those stops a little bit more. And also just that extra dimension. It's like weird to see how far back. I mean, you can even check on these. Like, look at that. Bam, that's how far back we are. Ooh. That's a big pothole I just went through, and this car took it like a champ with those big tires and wheels. Definitely, as you can tell, very, very bouncy suspension as you need with a truck. You need some good damping. Oh boy. So my initial review, I said the 10-speed is decently smooth. Some of the newer Ford iterations definitely do a better job of it. If you're given like half throttle, I'm a big half throttle guy with these turbocharged cars. So I don't want to floor it and shift through the transmissions in any car. It definitely just hunts for gears a little bit. It definitely has like a little bit of a jerking sensation. And especially at lower speeds at the traffic, in stop and go traffic, you definitely feel it. That's just my opinion, guys. I'm coming from, you know, smoother cars and stuff, and totally different class of cars. It is funny to be driving through this area, as I'm used to a lot of these roads in a much smaller car. I feel like just such a road monster. I'm a king of the road. Nobody can stand in my way. Not really going to be fully engaged in the launch here because there's a lot of traffic, but this car definitely has the torque that you need to get up and go, because trucks are meant to tow, trucks are meant to take heavy loads. They need that torque to get off the line. I have to imagine maybe that's why a lot of people buy trucks, is because they want that extra speed, and also they want to feel like the biggest person on the road. I get it. Now we're entering 95. So far, MPG for the past stop and go traffic, just to give everyone an idea, is about 17 to 16 MPG. Went up a little bit since we were able to get on the highway a little bit, but overall, kind of what you'd expect from truck fuel economy. Ooh. And now we are on this road for a good 60 miles, and that gives me a good opportunity to showcase a little bit of the driver assistance. So let's switch back to normal, let's get comfortable, and let's go over to the driver assistance screen. Which I believe is under truck info. There we go. And then we can engage what I believe is Ford Copilot Assist Plus or 2.0. I have to double check. But what does that give us? Well, lane keeping system, and then adaptive cruise control. with stop and go, and this brings you to a full stop at the down to 0. You have to engage it to go again, and it does lane centering. It's a little odd because I feel like I'm too much over to the right, but when I look in my camera or my mirrors, I am right where I need to be. The system definitely isn't as aggressive as I would like in terms of stopping and accelerating, especially with stopping. Sometimes I feel like it likes to get up to people's bumpers, so I have to set the distance pretty far. But then it hesitates a little bit to kind of, maintain the speed. And it prompts you to keep your hands on the wheel. But, I mean, very, very centered. In the Mach-E, I had Blue Cruise and stuff, which would turn on and never tell you when it would turn on. But, when you kept your hands off on that thing, it was kind of cool to, see that you didn't need to have to touch it and stuff, and just have to keep your eyes forward and stuff. It was a really good system. I think this was a good stepping stone into that direction. So I think Ford did a good job. So yeah, we're going to be on this road for a bit. We'll get some good... Sorry, I felt like I was too close to that truck. We'll get some good impressions of the comfort. Wind noise, not too bad. Tire noise, because we're on a body-on-frame, it's not translating the noise as much of the suspension into the cabin. Going back to it, I think stop and go definitely made me more car sick with the height and the sway of the truck. I'm more used to a firm and planted, lower to the ground car, or even compact SUVs. And maybe also just the longitudinal, the length of this car gives like a little twisting motion because of the size of it, and just the, versus just a more compact car won't have too much twisting on this axis, so to speak. So we'll see how it goes with a little bit more consistent speed, less stop and go. Obviously, we're going to have some slowdown stuff as we're full of all these trucks. And boy, do I feel in tune with all these trucks. I'm high up the ground. I feel like I'm bigger than some of them, even though I'm not. But we're friends. We're all friends. We all hang out on the weekends, me and these truckers. But the comfort's good. The suspension is, as I can't describe, bouncy, floaty, something stiff, some combination I'm not the biggest fan of. But we obviously have a lot of amenities, heated and cool seats, this awesome screen. I want to showcase it. Like, if I want to go to a podcast and reach over there, I have to really reach to make sure I'm getting to the one I want to go to. Just thought that was interesting. But plenty of physical controls, and obviously the controls on the steering wheel. Decent visibility, still gotta look around and stuff to get into those blind spots, but that's probably standard fare in any truck. So we'll check back in with you once we get a little bit more in trip, see how the fuel economy is doing, see if there's any interesting updates. But other than that, this is what it is. I don't really feel the weight difference in terms of having this car loaded up. It's probably going to load up with a couple 100 pounds. If at most, nothing really heavy, just a lot of small, medium items kind of packed in here together. Nothing this car can handle, nothing that's going to make it seem like it's overweight. So we've been cruising along for about an hour since we last chatted. Car is now averaging about 23 mpg, which is right in line with the EPA figures. And overall, this has been my view. It's been using the cruise control, sitting at 70 to 65 to 80 miles per hour, depending on the traffic flow. And it's been pretty easy. Going against the commute into the city on 95 in New Jersey, and then going against the commute into Philadelphia, King of Prussia area in Pennsylvania. Not too much slowdown in traffic, but even the little traffic I hit was pretty manageable, as it was as just this area Pennsylvania is not as congested as New Jersey for the most part, in my opinion. I think people of Pennsylvania would disagree. So it's been comfortable, got my cooled seats on, started warming up a little bit as the mornings went on, got some work done with phone calls. This cruise control system is definitely very confident in keeping in the lane. In terms of making lane changes, not my favorite thing, but lots of space to spread out here to stretch your legs. You got lumbar adjustment on these power seats, no anti-fatigue, but yeah, can't complain otherwise though. I'm still not a big fan of the size of the car on the highway, but that's just my personal opinion. I definitely gravitate towards a smaller car. And yeah, so the remainder of the plan for this move is we drive from New Jersey, drop some stuff off, and then I'm going to drive back up to New Jersey to my apartment. I have an appointment, a doctor's appointment nearby, and then from there we're going to drive back to Nicole's apartment because we got to work in the city a couple days this week, and then we're going to drive back to Pennsylvania for the next part of the move, bringing more stuff, and then drive back to New Jersey. So I have a feeling we'll be using a bunch of gas, but probably we'll have to refill and then drive back to South Jersey to return this truck to my dad. So with that being said, hope everyone enjoyed the video. Hope everyone got a little bit of insight in terms of my opinions in the comfort and suspension of this car. Overall, there's something to be said about enjoying a nice truck. I think Ford does a very good job of making these luxurious, yet not intimidating on the inside, but also just the refinement aside from that transmission is really good in these trucks. And this is the tried and true truck formula, and that's why they're the #1 selling car in the United States. And yeah, oh my god, definitely don't want to get one of the body roll. Wouldn't necessarily want to get a truck myself of this size and magnitude. Maybe something smaller like the Tacoma or the Ranger, or just a full-size SUV, mid-size SUV. And yeah, that's all will be said. Fuel economy is good, comfort's good, driver tech is good.